You had me way before a simple hello. When your mom smiled with tears in her eyes and said, hey, you know, I gotta tell you something special, and a special something to show you. It was a 3D image in black and white on a 3x5 size paper. It was pure delight. It took my breath away. Nothing I could say. Ooh. It was the beautiful perfect. You were better than amazing. Overflowing emotions, cascading from the moment we met. It had a heavenly effect. My heart was layered in love, even when we're apart. You'll always be in my heart, underneath the stars above, 'cause you're the beautiful perfect.
Oops. I don't know what's going on with this one. Okay. Oops. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh. But no, I'm live right now. Nobody's actually on here. So I just felt like talking to you. What?
I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say? I know, because you're the quiet one. I think you're the quiet one of all of us. Hold on. Oh, wait. So Christmas is in what, 9 days?
Yeah.
Is it? So I guess this is weird. I've never had I got dust on my computer here. I've never had it. I mean, no, actually, the last couple of times I've done this, I've had like lack of words, lack of thought. I don't know. It's been a weird year, and since it's coming to the end, how many more days do we have left? Today's the 16th. So is that 15 more days? 2 more weeks?
So New Year? Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
2 days.
15 more days. 2 more days of 2025. Boy, we've been through a lot in the last 10 years, haven't we? We've just a lot of different things, up and downs, everything. The weather's been cold. I guess it's supposed to warm up tomorrow. Is it tomorrow we're warming up?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Come on over here. Come on over here. People probably wonder what's going on. All right. This is the first time I've ever done this. And I did this over 3 years ago with my youngest daughter, who I haven't been with in a long time. But this is my oldest, the one I'm always talking about. And I've written a couple songs about. This is Sabrina. So for those who, this is a first. She's really kind of shy. How old are you now? 27? It's crazy. I used to hold her like in my little hand, right, like this, or my hand. You were little in my hand. I got a big hand. I got a hand like, is that crazy? Look at her. This is my girl. This is my little baby. I don't get to see her that much, you know. And I know that a lot of people probably, we're not going to be on super long, because what time do you have to work?
I start at 8.
8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. So I have friends from around the country and around the world in different time zones, even Australia and Germany, everywhere. So, you know, if they see this, because I know that their stuff doesn't trigger or show up on my screen, but they see it later, and then they'll send me really cool audio messages. So this is kind of for that. But, you know, there's a story since I started coming on, of course, because a little over 6 years ago when, you know, her brother passed, we were just talking about U of M and how that day happened. And we're not going to get into all that. But I did want to definitely, you know, ask her. I've never been interviewed before. I thought, you know, when I was a kid, did I ever tell you this? I know I never told her this. When I was younger, I've been shy and quiet, and she's like me a lot. She's she's a great writer. In fact, you write stuff, right? What do you do?
Yeah, I work as a content writer and marketer.
Content writer, yeah. And you went to Grand Rapids or
Grand
Valley, right outside of Grand Rapids, Allentown, right?
Allendale.
Allendale.
That's okay. Sorry.
I don't know what's going on. So anyway, I'm gonna ask questions because I mean, we're not. There's no script. If I was to have a script, this is it right here. There's nothing. Blank page. And so I just kind of just throwing this up. We're going live, fly off the wall kind of stuff. But I posted pictures of her for years, even before her brother was even born, and I've got a ton of them. So it wasn't like, in fact, she was when my ex-wife, her mom, told me she was pregnant with Dante, which was a boy. I mean, of course, I was happy, but it was like the thing that was in the back of my mind as a man, and I'm not really this one. I don't care about. We were just talking. We sat in the car over in Kroger off of M59, and it's funny. Her mom lives off of this road 23 miles east of here, and M59 is this long road that goes east and west in Michigan, north of Detroit, about probably 100 plus miles. I don't even know. It goes from one side to the other. But anyway, and they named it. It's actually got 4 names to it. But we were sitting in a Kroger parking lot, and it's like, I think it's like 20 something degrees. And we just sat there before we went in, and we talked for about an hour or so about different things. I did most of the talking. In fact, she's talking a lot right now. And but anyway, so this is the funny thing. We're talking about life and talking about stuff. I probably ramble too much because I talk, when I get around her. But I get kind of nervous around my own daughter. And, I try to say things, to her about life and about being a good dad. And, that was always my intention. In fact, before she was born, I said I never wanted kids because I wasn't afraid, because my mom and dad are kind of, in fact, they're in the next room watching something on TV. And they're still both alive and kicking, both got their wits about them. They, trust me, they move around like a 20 set of 25-year-olds. But anyway, and I was just, because they were kind of very outgoing with too much for me. I'll put it lightly. And I never thought I'd be a good dad for that reason. It wasn't because I just wanted to give up the single life and all that game, or not losing it. But anyway, so, she when she was born, actually, when I found out she was born, I was terrified. I was like, how old was I? 35. I was 35. And I was working for this mortgage company for a buddy of mine who was a big multimillionaire guy. And I went to high school with and it was one of those subprime companies. So, whatever. Well, as I'm finding out that her mom's pregnant with her, we lost the job. I mean, it was like 4 floors of people off of Telegraph and Maple, right across from the famous Andiamo, where Jimmy Hoffa was supposedly taken, right across the street. And so I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then, of course, having a daughter, I didn't know, I hear all these horror stories. Guys are scared of having daughters, boyfriends, all that stuff. And in fact, she looked like this when she was in high school, and she was super pretty, and everybody, whatever. Well, nobody did, he didn't go on dates or nothing. And I was like, well, then I finally found out because, mainly partly because of me. But then when I finally was introduced to her boyfriend, Derek, where's he in Grand Rapids right now?
Mm-hmm.
And he's, out of, he acts in Grand Rapids. They met online. Did you guys meet online?
Yeah.
But this was about a year or so after her brother had passed. And, I had enough going on. The world was going through a bunch of stuff, COVID, everything like that. And my business went to crap. But here I am, and I'm sitting there going, well, like one day, and everybody knew about her boyfriend except me. My brother knew, my dad knew, everybody knew, but they wanted to keep it a secret from me, right? So, and then he walked in, and I met him, and nicest, smartest, sweetest guy ever. I mean, honestly, and they're still together. How many years have you guys been together?
5.
5 years?
Well, 5 since we met, yeah.
So they live in Brooklyn now. They've been going back and forth. They lived in Grand Rapids. They got how many? 1 or 2 houses?
2.
They have 2 houses in Grand Rapids. I don't even have one, unless you consider the front seat of my car. But anyway, so what happened was, so I went out there a couple of times. And me and her sister, the last time I saw her in New York was when you were in Manhattan, Times Square. Mm-hmm. Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. And I took Sophia. We drove all the way there to Manhattan. And that was, oh my God, it was, but we had a great time. And I posted it. And, but it's weird because, there were so many different things that went down where I didn't see them all the time. And I know when Sophia was born, I was in my 40s, and I go, how am I going to squeeze every microsecond of time for each one of them, the best I could. I knew eventually, she would go to college, or then Dante would go do his thing. And, I didn't know how I was going to be, how am I going to tag along? Because I was going to be that guy to tag along with them, And, their mom would have probably been whatever, because we were still married at that point. But anyway, so, all these different things. And the question I had for her, that would be the $1 billion question. If you hear background noise in the background, I think I got the reducer on here, but my parents are watching TV. They watch it really loud. But anyway, and I'm putting you on the spot, but it's about me. It's about me, because I know a lot of people have questioned this, and I kind of let it go a long time ago. But I want the actual answer, the truth. Don't pull back. But was I okay as a dad? Was I okay? I mean, do you think I was all right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, I put her on the spot. No, I don't know, because I just feel like sometimes, I think this goes for any dad or even a mom out there. It's like you always wonder. I think some people think they're the greatest mom or the greatest dad in the world, and I never really thought that of myself. And now that I'm here in Christmas 2025 and all these different things, and she, how long are you in town for? Till the weekend or so?
Yeah, I'm around Michigan until like the 28th or so.
Okay, yeah, she's got to go to. Are you going to Grand Rapids too, right? Yeah, she's going to Grand Rapids because her boyfriend's parents are there. Really cool, good people. Brian and Julie, yeah, really cool people, and I approve. But anyway, so it's one of those things where, hey Tina, hey Phil, how you doing? I don't know who's actually watching. Let me see, Mr. Bill and Tina. Okay, you guys. Well, I don't know. It doesn't show everybody. But anyway, and I think that, moving forward, I told her, I said, if I could have had a choice in my life, I would have been a superhero, and I told her, like, not like the Avengers, and help back the world. But, as you get older, you realize the world doesn't work like that, but I know that there's people out there that have families. They have children. They have, daughters and sons, or however, maybe they're single parents. I don't know. Some people are very blessed. They have nice homes. But it's like, even with all the brokenness that her and I went through, I was sitting there, if I can, this was the last day Dante was alive. And we were at the University of Michigan, Mott. They always have TV commercials, Mott Children's Hospital, because there's different divisions, right? And they're huge, right? They're like little cities. And everybody, I told her, I said, when I first got to the hospital, the first thing they told me within 10, 15 minutes after they explained everything, they said, we're gonna, put him down in the basement in the morgue. And I said, you don't have enough people for that. So they kind of, whatever. And they allowed me to stay there because her and her sister and her mom and grandmother were all up in Mackinac. And that was the worst day, the worst time of my life. And I was on, that's when I kind of went live on Facebook. And moving past all that, I remember that day after we airlifted him from Flint, or was it Flint? Somewhere in there, Genesee, or maybe it's, I forgot. But we had airlifted to U of M, and we were hoping, things were going to turn around. But we knew that last day. I looked at her when we went into the cafeteria. It was a private cafeteria. It was around McDonald House, I think, right? And there was windows all around. It was kind of a weird day in September. And I said, we're going to be the only two people standing. We're going to be like two people with broken legs holding each other up. And, I hope we get through it. I hope we get through it. And, many people from everywhere, people I can't remember, people I didn't even know, families, people, restaurants like Manjalao, Kim's, the Lacia family. I mean, the list goes on and on. There was so many great people, and Jay Towers was posting, a bunch of other people were posting. So I met friends that were here because of that. But you know what? And I told her today, I go, I hope that you forgive me for anything I do. Well, I didn't exactly say it like that, but I mean, I hope you do anyway. And I hope that, her life is good and we give back. And maybe one day we'll even work together and stuff like that. Because I write, she writes. And I thought, God, wouldn't that be cool if one day we could write together, and do something with that. But the point I was trying to make with her and anybody out there that goes through any kind of sadness or anything like that is that, you know what, you just got to keep going. You know, whether you're broke, whether you're broken. And I've always had guilt because of her brother dying. I've had guilt because of her sister leaving. I've had guilt because I don't know if I was there enough for her as well. And, maybe I said or did the wrong things out there, but at the same time, look at her, she's still here, 6 years later, she's, I know she's probably holding a lot of things inside. I don't want to put you on the spot with that either, because you're really good at holding things in now, but the strength that you find, I hope, is, because there's good people around you. I hope I'm strong enough. I even said, her and I are not close. I'm going to try the best I can to the next phase. I said this tonight. And maybe this will answer some people's questions out there, because there's a lot of acrimony. And I said, I'm going to let it slide regardless of what happened. Maybe I deserve this. Maybe I deserved everything happen, from years ago to 6 years ago to now. But I want, my life to be better with the best people I can find. And people that let me go. Every day I see somebody that let me go, I'm like, wow, what happened? But then I also see people that stay with me. But this person right here, girl, and underneath this person right here, the number one reason, keep trying. And she hasn't asked me for anything. You haven't asked me for anything. I mean, nothing. I mean, I didn't buy you your first car. And here's what I bought 2 cars. I couldn't buy her, whatever now. But what I think worth more than me, I hope. And I mean, I'm trying to make money, but is that we push each other, like I said we were going to do in that hospital that night, or that morning, I should say. And then hours later, and I was up there for you as much as I could have been. I always want you to know I wanted to be every second of every minute.
Yeah.
And I know there's been a couple times where it's been rough, and they say you never talk bad about a parent, and I don't care how many times, but I try to make it a joke, most of the time. But you know what? Moving forward, I'm going to try to be better for that. One thing she was good at. One thing Sabrina was good at, and Dante was good at, and even Sophia was good at. Okay. I always told them, I says, never. How many times did I say this when you guys were younger? Never be afraid of me, even when I'm mad, or even if you think I'm tough, this tough dad or this whatever. I go, never be afraid of me. Like some people are afraid of their dad. And I said, always say what you feel to me. And she would either say I'm stupid, or she'd call me an idiot. How many times have you called me an idiot? She goes, Dad, you're an idiot. And she would start, and she would just smirk, because I would always say these stupid, sarcastic, funny things or whatever. And that actually was probably one of the coolest things I've ever told you. And Dante would do that. Dante never held back on me. He goes, Dad, you're a weird ass. Remember that? And even Sophia, she always hit me and stuff like that. And I don't, I've said this before, but I've never said it in front of her on here. But, I never spanked you or anything, did I? I know I used to swing them on the bed. Do you remember me swinging you guys on the bed? Mm-hmm. I would fluff up this big, thick down comforter on my king size bed in my house at Royal Oak. That's where she was born. Her brother was born over at 14 in Woodward, if you know that is, north of Detroit. And I say that because people aren't from Michigan. And I would swing them around and around. And it was funny, like their legs and stuff would be over, but I knew how to swing them where they weren't hitting, how like the dresser and stuff. Because I probably broke their legs. And then I would throw them on the bed. Remember that? This one game that we used to play? We used to play this game. You hated it. Do you remember it? In the bed.
No, I don't.
Remember? She'd always, because she was when you were a little girl, she had this little stuffed animal named Skip. In fact, I posted her a picture with it. It looks like this little beagle right?
Yeah.
And she loved Skip. Well, sometimes you would get under the kitchen table
Okay.
and you would bark. And she put a leash around her neck, and you go, arf, arf. And do you remember that?
No, but I know you told me about it.
Oh, do you remember she loved watching The Wizard of Oz too. We had to watch The Wizard of Oz. How many times did we watch The Wizard of Oz? Do you remember how many times? I mean, not accurately, but it was a lot. And she was Dorothy, I think, at least 2 years in a row, weren't you?
Yeah, for Halloween.
Yeah, for Halloween, right. But where was I going with this before? No, we swung you around the bed and everything. The game. Tunnel. You hated that game. Remember we played the tunnel? Remember she goes, Dad, let's play, this game tunnel. Like we had this big, because I had these big comforters, right? And she'd be in the bed and we'd cover ourselves with that. And then I would always be like, sometimes I'd be super tired. So I'd go, I got this game. And she goes, what? She get all excited. And I'd go, it's okay. Let's see if we can close our eyes the longest. And she would go, you know what he said to me?
No.
You go, that's a dumb game. I hate this game. So I always came up with a different title, for the game. I go, okay. I go, Sabrina, I got this. I got this. She goes, Dad, let's play this game. And she tried to wake me in bed. And I get under the covers. I go, she goes, what's it called? I go, it's called. I would just some other game that was doing the same thing. And she would I go, let's see who can be the quietest for the longest and stuff. And she would get mad at me. And then, do you remember when I used to say, I go, you're my favorite daughter.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? And she goes, well, you got mad. What'd you say to me? He goes, I'm your only daughter. That was before Sophia was born. Man, I used to just torture her. I did. Did I torture you? So stupid. I apologize. Oh my God. Weird ass. Oh my God. She goes, Dad, you're an idiot. And she would do that same look right there. She just roll her eyes and go, you're an idiot. Oh man. But you know what? She's been the best daughter. I've never grounded her. I've never done nothing. If anything, I've been if you were to take a ratio or whatever, she was a better kid than I was a dad. I got to say that. And I could say that about all three of them. Dante was amazing. These two were like best friends. He was like a twin, and everyone used to think they were twins. Everybody's there. Just looking at the cameras right there. So for the holidays, it's been 7 years. To me, it seems like, well, not quite 7, it's been 6 years, 3 months. And we're almost done, so I won't torture you anymore. But I asked if she would come, and she's never said no to me. My kids have never said no to me when I had them. And she's just always been like this. I would have to, I've told this to people before. When I'd come home from the nightclubs that night, and she was baby in the crib in the room across from us, I would have to go and check, those things they say about cribs and stuff. And I would have to check her. She was so quiet, so quiet. It was just amazing. You never, ever, I don't think for 1 second of your life that I've been around you since you were born. The minute you were born, all that fear went out the door. I was looking at her like, oh my God. It was like they say it's a religious experience. It really was. I couldn't stop kissing her. I kissed her on the head. I remember when she was like a year old, I must have kissed her at least 1 billion times. I wrote a song called 1 billion times because, you just took my breath away, just like the song says. It was like, wow, she was great. And then, Dante was the funny one, and he was just always whatever. And these two just got along. I've got so many videos I've never even shared where she's it was like the colors in the rainbow couldn't even compare. I mean, the flavor of your favorite dessert or food wasn't even close. It was just those kind of feelings I had with them every second when I walked in the door. The minute I left, I felt like, you ever feel like when you get your jacket stuck in the door and you're trying to go anywhere? It's like, I felt like as soon the further I got from them, the less I was alive, if that makes sense. And I'm thinking, how was I alive all those 35 plus years before they were born? I don't even know how that even happened. But it was just the greatest gift, and just the fact that you're here. I know she spends more time at her mom's because, she has to, but it's just been, but at least I get to do this. At least I get this, and I get to share it. And, for those people who have kids, hug them and love them. For those people who don't have kids or can't have kids, I hope you find that joy that replaces that pain and that loneliness and those sad things and the worrisome and you may have whatever things that stress you out, that cause you to, feel things that eat you up inside or consume you. The only thing that ever consumed me was them. And what ate me up alive was when I wasn't with them. I don't know how people feel about that with their own lives, but all I can say, the holiday season, a couple of weeks away from, the holidays, not even, and the new year, make it a goal, and I'm just giving you my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it. But you know what? If this is out of the, everything bad that happened to me, if this is what I have left, I'm okay. I'm okay. Even if I see you once or twice, because, there might come a time, and that's my goal for my success. If I become that way with Nashville or, whatever, New York, they're just the creative cities in between Detroit that you could possibly get. And that's why she had to leave. And that's why I have to leave. And Detroit doesn't have a creative thing. It's more of a spectator kind of thing. We go watch things. We watch DJs. We watch football games. We watch things. But the creative parts are, New York has both. You create, you do, you design, you watch. Nashville, same thing. And I am really proud of what she's become. I don't have any other expectations of her. I don't. And I just want her healthy and happy. And her boyfriend's been good to her, or else. And, that's all I wish for everybody out there. I pay for this stuff, and I don't even know how to use it. I told her, I said, I don't even hardly come on here anymore. And when I do, there's hardly anybody out there. So just have a good time out there and be safe and stay warm. And, one last thing. I told her, I said, the best compliment I can give anybody is if I say they're a good human. The worst compliment I could give somebody is that they're not a good human. Live for yourself, enjoy your life, but be the person that at least gives back. Donate some blood, give some food, give a jacket, give some time to your friends. Hold the door open for a stranger. I see so many bad people out there, so many inconsiderate, rude people. I could be that person easily. They would understand. But you know what? I ain't going to do that. I'm not going to let what happened to me create those excuses. I wouldn't have came on here. I did it because I hoped I helped people. I wasn't trying to solicit pity or sadness. Solicit sadness. That should be a song. I don't want to do that, because she's stronger than I am. She's 10 times more powerful than me. She is. She's cried less than I've cried. At least I never. When she stayed with me those times, when people were, I never heard her cry. Just like when she was a baby, not just when her brother passed, but when she was a baby, she never cried. I was like crazy. I was like, is she okay? I don't know what's going on, but I'm the obnoxious one. I'm the one that, I'm supposed to be the tough guy, but I cry. I'm the tougher guy that cries. I don't know what happens. What did I used to say when I got what did
allergies?
You didn't even hesitate, did you? She in case you didn't hear that, she goes, her brother and her would just look at me like I was stupid because I would get emotional sometimes, especially after the divorce or watching a movie that reminded. And I go and they look at me and I didn't want them to feel awkward, so I go, oh man, I'm sorry. I call them my allergies. Did you guys always know?
Of course.
I don't know. I thought I pulled one over on them all the time. No, they didn't. I'm stupid, aren't I? I love you so much. Oh my God, you're the best. You know that. But anyway, hey Paul, how you doing? Hey Mal, how you doing, guys? You guys all right? All right. Go over this. I these so a few later. I used to them up and then whatever. And Facebook takes these down after 30 days. I still do, but I hope there's a message in there somewhere. And I just wanted to share my my beautiful daughter, man, and she doesn't even wear makeup. Do you have any makeup on at all? Jeez, oh man, you're looking as me. I'm kidding. She's better looking than me. But anyway, all right. Well, have a happy week. Have some nice Christmas parties. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever. Be nice to each other, man. Peace, man. It's a crazy world out there. Don't be crazy. Stop being crazy, man. Just, I've got reasons to be crazy, right? I am crazy. All right. Well, times 10. Hey, Christine, you guys have a good night. Say bye. Wow, look at you. You already did. She's so. Sophia was like that too. They're so light. Man, you guys were brought up pretty good, weren't you? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Bye. Wait, whoa,
my beautiful perfect. I know it sounds so cheesy, the words I used to describe all the affection I feel for you, all churning inside. Nothing's been the same again since the day that you arrived, but it doesn't matter. You're all that matters, because here you are, my spectacular star. It's the beautiful perfect. You are better than amazing. All of these emotions cascading from the moment we met. It's been such a heavenly effect. My heart is now layered in love, even when we're apart. You're always in my heart, underneath sky and stars above, because you're the beautiful perfect. Whoa, my beautiful perfect. You've given my heart eyes, more than you'll ever realize. You're my Michelangelo's David, my cherry blossom in bloom, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, my Milky Way and moon. How could I have wished you any better? You are the beautiful perfect. You're better than amazing. So many emotions cascading from the very second we met. It's such